Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Sheena and this is my homestead. I'm really excited about today's episode. Today we are going to be talking about harvesting seeds that we let our plants go to seed, and so how to store them for the winter so that we have seeds for next year. Very crucial survival technique. And secondly, we are still planting. It is almost October. I live right on the border of zones 6 and 7 in the Midwest, and we are still planting because we can have a winter garden. As you can see in my hand here, I have some celery and all other kinds of goodies. So I'm gonna take you out to the garden and we are gonna get started. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what things look like right now. As you can see, my Swiss chard has just done so well, and it is exploding with nutrition. I love Swiss chard. I think it's a very underrated vegetable. You can use the leaves for greens. We put them in our salad all the time. We even chop them up and put them on top of tacos. And the stalks are very similar to celery. They have a nice crunch to them. So, and then we still have green beans that are rolling. I have a lot of herbs still. We've got our basil. It's looking a little rough, but we're still rolling. We're still getting out of it as much as we can. And then, of course, I have all of this dill. And this is some of the stuff we are going to harvest today and take for seed to be used at another time. We have arugula, and my cilantro is just insanely growing. And then rosemary. And then these dill plants I planted a lot later than the others, and they're still producing for us. So I have some cabbage, peas, lettuce, white scallions, romaine lettuce, cauliflower. This is a Detroit dark red beet. I have some carrots, spinach, and kale. So we're gonna get these in the ground today. I purchased all of these seeds online on Amazon. There's a company that sells seeds just for winter sowing. So I will link that down below so that you can get yours as well. These are some of the carrots that we planted together. You can see right down here how well that's going. I gave them a lot more space than the last round, so I think we're doing great. And my cherry tomatoes are just still producing like crazy. And this is a jalapeno. Got some stuff to harvest there. And this pepper plant's still going. We are almost into October. And oh gosh, look at that tomato. That is a granny chemtrail. My green bean plants are still going. Looks like a bunny got to some of them here. Nibbled them right off. There's some tomatoes I planted later in this season. And I still have zucchini coming in. And here's my cucumber. He's doing great too. I apologize for the harsh lighting. Usually I like to come out here in the evening time with you guys, but that's just not possible today. We've got a lot of work to do. So I am shooting in direct sunlight, which is okay. But let me show you what I'm working with. So this here are my dill plants. Some of them are still flowering, as you can see. So what happens is the dill originally looks like this, and if you let it keep going, it starts to develop these little pods at the end. And you can see these turn into flowers. And then eventually, if you let it die on the vine, you can see how they turn into seeds. So we are just going to gently take these seeds. You don't want the other part of the plant, just the seed, so you can use your fingers to kind of scrape them off. And they look like this. I bought these little brown envelopes, and they have a little adhesive on the end, and they are perfect for storing my seeds. So I'm just going to label this and then put them in this envelope and store them for next year. You could most definitely clip this with scissors and bring it inside. Use a little bowl to get these separated, but I'm in a little bit of a time crunch today, so we're just scooping them off with our fingers here. Get them right into the envelope. So I hope you can see in there, but there are quite a few seeds, and that is just from one plant. Okay, so next up is our lettuce, and let me show you how this works. So right here, you can see this little pod, and if you open it up, you can see the seeds are right inside that little pod. And that's the part that we want to keep. We're going to grab more. Just like that. You can see them all right there. Pretty amazing. You can see just how many seeds you get from one plant. Definitely have enough to share with friends and family, and to last us all year and into the next. So I have this little spot right here, and I think this is where I'm going to plant some of my fall veggies. I think we're going to do at least celery right here, and maybe something else as well. I'm going to try and get the celery underneath the netting, because I have had major problems with the birds eating the celery just as it starts to sprout, which I don't blame them. But we need the celery to grow for ourselves. So I think we're going to do this little spot here. I'm just going to work the ground a little bit and get it all set and ready. Celery seeds are so tiny, as you can see. There's only a few right here in my hand, and they are a surface sow vegetable, which means you just spread them on the top of your soil and you do not cover them up. And this is why it has been pretty hard for me to get celery to grow, because the birdies have come along and eaten them every time. But I think having them right around the carrots as protection, and also under my little netting here, that we should do a good job of keeping those birds out and finally getting something to sprout. Here's a better view of how small they are, and we are just going to sprinkle around here, because I'm just hoping that out of pure numbers we get something to grow. So just sprinkle them around the base here, and up this way. And then the biggest thing to do now is to make sure that they stay moist until they have germinated. So the other winter crop that I'm going to plant here is spinach, and I'm just going to do a couple rows right here next to our celery. And these ones are a lot bigger, and you do have to push them into the ground just a bit, but they are easy to take care of once they've sprouted. So I've just dug 2 easy trenches here, and every couple inches I'm going to put a couple seeds. I'm going to spread a couple of those out because I really only want about 2 to 3 in each spot here. So I'm just going to show you here. I planted this lettuce really late in the season, and it's done incredible. So I planted lettuce 3 or 4 times this year, and we got a yield out of it every single time. I think that this bird netting helped tremendously. We even have some going to seed here, so we'll have even more seeds for next year. But I would really recommend getting these hoops. They have worked out tremendously for us, and I am most definitely going to get more for next year. They protect the plants until they're big enough that the birds and other things won't bother them. And it's just so easy to pop this open. It has like these little metal clips here, I should say stakes, and we just open it up and grab what we need for the day and then close it back up again. So it's been really, really helpful. And hopefully this little set right here of celery and spinach pops up, and we can enjoy that even longer into the season. So I've prepared the ground here next to my cilantro, and I am going to plant just some more lettuce. So I'm doing this romaine and this iceberg, and we're gonna get it right in here in the ground next to our seeded lettuce. And eventually I'm gonna pull this out. I just haven't harvested all the seeds yet. You can see the arugula in the background that is next to it. That is a nice sort of spicy leaf. We use it all the time in our salads and in our culinary dishes. So that's a great one to have, and it grows like a weed, and it is very, very hardy. So definitely get that into your garden as well. That is also a winter variety of lettuce. So let's get these in. So we're gonna get those just barely covered, mainly so the birds don't find them, even though they still will. Let's be honest. All right, well, that looks good. This little section here used to have my yellow squash, and now we are going to plant some kale. I want a big lively patch of kale, so I am just going to spread it all over in this spot. I'm not going to cover it heavily, but I'm just going to gently sprinkle some dirt over the top. A little more in the corners here. Perfect. And then on the other side, I am going to do this white scallion. I think it'd be nice to have some onion type flavor that we can pick fresh from the garden. that. And then again, sprinkle over the top. We're going to give that a nice water to get it all settled in there. You guys have heard me say this time and time again, but the true way to germinate anything is it has to stay moist, and it has to stay moist all the way until it starts growing. If you don't do that, it's just, you're not going to get that germination rate that you want. You also want to make sure you get a hose head that is like rain. You want it to duplicate a nice rain shower. That way you don't wash away your precious little seeds that you just planted. So it's super important. We're going to water in this part too. We've had a lot of rain here the past 3 weeks, which is not very common for September for us. But not common has been the only common part about this year. We had a severe drought when usually we're very rainy. We only had one good snow this year. And now we're getting tons of rain. So just not the way it usually is. And we are almost into October, and today is 82 degrees. Tomorrow is the same. And then all the way through Wednesday, we have another 80 degrees. And then things start to cool off a little bit from there. But like I said, just not common. But we make do. And I'm not complaining because I still had a great harvest this year. So one of the best parts about saving your own seeds for your own garden is the fact that those seeds have adapted to your ground and to the climate that is around you. And every year, genetically, they want to survive. They want to get bigger and stronger and do better. So every year that you plant them and that they grow in your area, and then you collect the seeds again and again, you are getting varieties that are literally made specifically for your ground, for your climate, for your yard. It's pretty incredible. So it is just another reason to save your own seeds. Well, that's it for today, guys. I am going to continue my planting. I just wanted to let you know that one, you can go outside and collect your own seeds. It's an amazing thing to do. And insurance for next year, and saving a couple dollars, right? Even share some with a friend. And second, it's not too late to plant a winter garden. So head outside, get some lettuce in the ground, some celery, beets. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things. If you look up on the internet what things you can plant at this time of year in your zone, I promise you there's still something that you can put in the ground. And you know, it's just fun. And you wake up every day, go outside to see what's changed, what's new, and what other yummy surprises are in your garden for you. So I encourage you to try a couple yourself. And if you need a place to shop for seeds, Baker Creek is amazing. Oh, and public service announcement, get your garlic bulbs today. I already have mine. I am just waiting for a frost. Once the ground has frozen over and frosted once, I will get my garlic in the ground. So make sure you have yours on hand, and make sure that it is from a reputable company that sells organic or non-GMO. And I can't wait, because that is something that we have to get in the ground in the fall in order to have for next year. And a lot of new gardeners don't know that. So this is your service announcement. Get yours today and have it on hand, and we will plant garlic together. I hope you had a great time, friends. Thank you so much for following along. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye.